Okay, we are in the back end of my Mission Mojo website, and I just wanted to show you, it may well be different for yours because we all have different kinds of websites, but mine's a WordPress site and I'm using the Divi theme, which happens to be my favorite. Mind you, if you see some things here and you happen to go get Divi after watching this video, don't be surprised if it looks a bit different for you because they're changing a little bit tomorrow. So anyway, that's fine. Now, what you will find though in a lot of integrations on other websites when you want to integrate your MailChimp is that they require you to get your MailChimp API. Now that can be a little bit confusing as to where to find it. What it does do is allows your website or the plugin to log into your MailChimp account and look at all the various lists that you have. I mean, at the moment we've only got one, but preferably in the future you'll have 2 or 3 because you'll be doing different things and people will want to be on different lists. You'll have purchases and people who haven't purchased yet, their messages will be different. So it's actually worth thinking about creating more than one list as well in the future. Right, but to start with, what we need to do is go and get the API key. So let's flick back over. What we do is go up to the account, we select account, and let that load, and then under extras right here you'll see it says API key. So you do that and then you say I want to create an API key, and it runs away, grabs it and comes up with this very interesting long number. There we go. So this is the API key. You go copy and you run back into your website, you go paste it in, and there should be a save button here somewhere. Here we go, save the changes, and it saved the changes, which is fantastic. So that means now when I'm going to flick back to the pages in my website, and it's the page we're editing is the 2-week Content Mojo challenge, which we're setting up that I showed you earlier. Don't worry about all this. This is just working in the back end. Now this is the little widget that I've put in for the mail form that you saw. At the moment I've linked it to an Aweber account that I had, but what I'm doing now is moving it over to MailChimp, and because we use the API, the Divi has been able to go over and grab the list that we have there. So I'll just pause it to make that work properly and I'll be back in a tick. Okay, here we are back again. Did a little bit of fiddling around, had to regenerate the list, but that was pretty easy. Now I'll select MailChimp, and down here you'll find that the one list that we do have in that MailChimp account that we set up is there. So yay! Now further down here I've already filled out the rest of this information, which is in the form that you've already seen on the website. There's nothing really there for me to show you apart from, it's all done. And if I hit update here, you shouldn't see any particular change, just delete these pages, on the front end, because all I've really done is changed the where it's going to go, so which email program it's going to go. At the moment it's got first name and last name. Again, I can go in and I should be able to remove that, otherwise I'll have to do that at the MailChimp level. Email option, yeah, I might need to change it at the MailChimp level if I decide I don't want first name and surname. However, as you can see, you have a lot more flexibility over how it's going to look on your website if you use appropriate plugins and things on WordPress. I would recommend, which is obviously what I'm doing, and it's given me the flexibility to create particular forms. Most of the plugins for different kinds of email programs, from MailChimp to Aweber and GetResponse and the like, most of those plugins that you would use with WordPress actually give you heaps of help on how to design the form and how you might want it to look. So what I would say for that is to just make sure that the wording that you use on the form is very exciting. It's the kind of wording that is going to make people want to provide you with their name and their email address, because quite basically we all get too much email now, and your potential clients and customers are just the same. So the things that you put on this email form, they need to be very attractive, very enticing, etc. So what we'll do in a minute is I'll go through and show you what happens when you sign up, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll actually work and go through the process that we've just set up. So hold on a tick and we will get that started. Okay, let's sign up to the Content Mojo Challenge. My name is Michelle and my surname is Frost, and I will use this email address. This does lead me to a very important point, and that is that you should test everything that you do online, preferably before you give it to other people to do, especially customers, because the last thing you want is for something to go wrong that you don't know about, and then maybe you won't find out about it for days or even weeks later, and you could have been making money and collecting subscribers and all of that sort of thing. So it's actually really important that you run through tests like this. If you only have one email address and for whatever reason you can't use that, I would go and grab another email address, at least one more if not a couple, using something like Gmail, because they're a free email address and you can go in and you can check to make sure these sort of things are working. The last thing you want is something not working. So I will go and check my email and I'll be back in a minute. As you see, we just subscribed. It says subscribed. Look for the email confirmation, or the confirmation email. I'm not entirely sure how to change this text here. It's probably for me in this process somewhere inside the WordPress theme that I'm using, but it'd probably get a bit too techy for me to work it out right now, and frankly probably don't need to. So I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm just going to go and find the subscription email and show you that so I can walk you through it. I'll be back in just a tick. Okay, here we are over in my email program, and you can see that I have received the email from MailChimp asking me to basically confirm, and you can see up here that it has the subject line that we set up in MailChimp earlier, where I changed it to please confirm you'd like to join. So it's a little bit more around the lines of what I'm trying to do here, which is get people to join the challenge, not just people to subscribe to an email list per se. So here we go. Then you can see all of the other bits and pieces in here that I changed are there, plus also the logo is there as well. So I'm going to hit yes, subscribe me to this list. I don't think I was able to edit that in any way. But anyway, as you can see again, my logo's come across. That's fantastic. My little change here to where I said before you can join the Content Mojo Challenge, we need to confirm you are a human. So that was again my little change to that. So click yes, that I'm not a robot, and then subscribe to the list. So as you can see, I'm following through to see exactly what happens, what does it look like, what do I need to go back and change, that kind of thing. Now this is the confirmation page, thank you page, and again it's got the stuff that I've put in it, the content, including a link to the Facebook group. Now I will click on it just to demonstrate to you that it's important that you check that any links that you've put into emails and things like that actually work. So yes, that one works. It takes me to where I need to go. If I click here, I assume that I've set it up to go to my website. Yes, probably should. Yeah, no, that's fine. No, that's okay. So you can set that up to go wherever you want. I'll just go back for a minute so that you can see. I've added the any questions. Now what I will do is get another email from them which will say pretty much the same thing. Yes, you're confirmed that you're linked, and I think in that email I've also got the Facebook group link. So there's a few different ways to encourage people to get onto that Facebook group, and of course I can go in and add other information. The one thing I wanted to point out to you before I move on from this thank you page area is that over here in back on MailChimp, when I have here selected the confirmation thank you page, which is within the sign up forms, which is what you were just looking at then. But up here you actually have a choice right here to be able to put a URL of your choice. So it doesn't have to be what you see below. So it doesn't have to be this page here. You can actually create a page on your website or wherever, I suppose, and put that in here and save it. And then when people hit that confirmation, they'll end up going, the thank you page after they've said, yes, I'd like to subscribe. They'll go to whatever page that you choose. So that's just something really important that you should know, because it could be really important. And I guess that might be the page that you would send people to if they were going to have a download of a product and things like that. Yeah. So anyway, that hopefully that helps you and has cleared up any confusion you might have about the sign-up forms, rather than created more confusion. If you do need any more detail or clarity in it, just let me know and I'll see if I can dig a little bit deeper for you. The idea really, though, is to not make it too confusing, because it is really easy for you to make it complex, and it doesn't need to be complex, especially when you're starting out. And you'll find that as your confidence grows, you will dig around and ask for, Google more help and look at more videos on how to use some of these things online. And then you will actually grow as you need it. As you need the knowledge will grow. Now, I'll just go and check the list. I've actually done 2 tests and I've deleted the other 4 people that we had in here. But if you look in here, you probably have 2 of me with 2 different email addresses. There we go. So you can see that that's worked. So I'm now subscribed twice, which, well, that's fine. Inside here. And it's working. So the next video that I'll create for you is actually how to then send them an email. So say now I have, say, 10 or 15 people or whatever on my list, and it's coming up close to the time that we are going to run this challenge. Well, I'm going to be wanting to send them some emails to remind them, to set them any homework that they might need to do leading up to the challenge. And then even once the challenge started, to encourage them to keep going, and to let them know, to ask me if they have any questions, all of that sort of stuff. Staying in touch, I guess, is the way to call it. So what we're going to do shortly is come back in and we're going to start some campaigns and create a template. And then you should have a pretty good overview of how to use MailChimp for yourself. All right, I'll be back shortly in a new video. I hope this has helped.